What's up, homies and homiettes? It's your boy Hoom Boom back with another segment of the Hold Up Show. And hold up, Diddy not done fighting. Today, we're going to be reviewing a Newsweek article of why Sean Combs just sued NBC for $100 million. Let's get into it. Hold up. Now, why did Sean Diddy Combs just sue NBC for $100 million? Let's see if I can zoom this up for you good people. All right. Okay. So, Sean Diddy Combs is taking legal action against NBC Universal and the production company Ample. The record producer is accusing the companies of airing false and defamatory claims in their documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, which was released in mid-January. In a $100 million defamation lawsuit, which was obtained by Page Six on Thursday, February 13th, and filed in New York, Combs' legal team argues that the documentary falsely portrays him as a monster guilty of serious crimes including serial murder, rape of minors, and sex trafficking of minors, and attempts to crudely psychologicalize him. The lawsuit further claims that the producers maliciously and baselessly compared him to infamous figures like Jeffrey Epstein, stating that Combs is an embodiment of Lucifer. Dang. The lawsuit specifically points to an accusation made in a documentary suggesting Combs' involvement in the 2018 death of his ex, Kim Porter. The rapper and Porter dated on and off from 1994 to 2008 and shared 3 children together. While the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office concluded Porter's death was due to natural causes, the documentary featured comments from Porter's ex, Albie Shore, who insinuated that Combs had a role in her passing. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but the supposed coroner has a allegedly shady history with some of the people that he has performed cause of death procedures on. And yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that. So I encourage you to look into the coroner in charge of Kim Porter's death autopsy and cause, and just look at a few other people that he was in charge of finding cause of death as well that were under suspicious circumstances allegedly. So if you got time, just further review and try to uncover some things. Combs' attorneys asserted that NBC, Universal, Ample, and the producers of the documentary ignored their warnings in the December 2024 about the false nature of the allegations. They claimed the documentary's airing damaged Combs' reputation and caused him substantial financial and personal harm, especially as he faces serious charges in his federal sex trafficking trial. The trial is set to begin May 5th, and Combs maintains his innocence, pleading not guilty to the charges. He faces a range of serious accusations, including sex trafficking, assault, racketeering, and more. Combs has been incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York since his arrest on September 16, 2024. He is currently facing a minimum sentence of 15 years in prison, with the possibility of life imprisonment if convicted on all counts. NBC, Universal, and Ample have yet to respond to the lawsuit. So yeah, I don't know if how many of you guys have seen the documentary. I did watch the documentary, and through each allegation, it seems that they did attempt to reach out to Mr. Combs' representation to get rebuttals or get some sort of response to the alleged victims. And let's be real. Like, if I'm fighting for my life, my lawyers are not going to go on some rinky-dink documentary that is really meant to destroy my image and try to fight my case in the court of public opinion over a documentary. We have to stay silent, plan out our game plan, and fight it out in the court of law of what can be proved and not proved factually. So when all this first jumped off, you know, me being a semi, I want to say semi-active conspiracy theorist, and that side of me was reignited in 2020 because of all the clear lack of common sense in the things that they were telling us about this pandemic. And I wasn't going for it. I had to do research. I had to look further. I knew when 2001, when the towers fell, I knew then something was not right about that, and it all but ignited a lot of conspiracy theorists, quote unquote conspiracy theorists, to come back out of the shadows and release information that they've been gathering for years. And I got to learn about RFID chips in your palm of your hand. I learned about the gain of function that was going on in the biological weapons and the first proposals of 15-minute cities and restricting movements of certain individuals that did not comply, and you know, just how the structure of the towers could not have fell from a plane running into it. It was built with the most reinforced steel and all that good stuff. I work construction, so I knew that a plane could not make buildings of that size and structure fall the way they fell in a demolition style, you know, destroying of how it you know crumbled. And yeah, so I knew a lot of things, or I was privy to a lot of things that in 2001, 2003, 2004 sounded absolutely crazy. But I always paid attention. It always felt like they were mentally prepping us for the moment through movies, through TV, through other things that I was researching. So when all this came about with Diddy and him allegedly being labeled like a black Jeffrey Epstein of sorts, a black, the black side of blackmail, the, you know, one of the alleged individuals tapped to control that side of, you know, black entertainment, as well as just probably entertainment as a whole. once certain individuals like Weinstein and Epstein went down, he probably garnered more power and things like that. And when like older influencers like the Quincy Joneses got older and the Clarence Avants died, or whoever the other figures behind the scenes that pull a lot of strings that the normal people are not privy to, it seemed like once, the Russells and things like that, once they were quote unquote out the way, that there was a rise in Mr. Combs and Mr. Sean Carter's power. It seemed like they garnered more power, more strength, more influence in those realms. And, I paid a lot of attention to the quote unquote Q movement, which is a movement exposing government corruption, while also exposing the level of child and human trafficking, as well as sex trafficking, as well as how those things connect or could possibly or allegedly connect to the government, or allegedly connect to certain secret entities or societies or groups within our government that hold high level positions or positions of influence within our government that are not elected officials. They're there for 20, 30, 40 years in these positions while administrations change over and over. And one of those, like, as far as relating to Diddy, he was always mentioned as a person of blackmail, as a person who is a gatekeeper for the alleged Boule, which would be the black Freemason leg of the larger Freemason world. And him and Mr. Carter were the ones with the most influence and the leaders of, this said cabal. And you could not get in the music industry without one or the other's approval. And even then, it was not safe for you to just be an artist or just be somebody who was talented and then go make money in the entertainment industry and then garner your own influence without someone having a hand on your shoulder. Like, this is my product. So, he was allegedly supposed to fall at the hands of whatever role he played to his handlers in these said cabals, said groups that operate within the government. Now, allegedly, those things or people were supposed to be like the CIA or the FBI or something like that, some high level entity that was protecting their misdeeds when they went overboard, because they were valuable in what they did for these alleged 3-letter agencies. And as far as acquiring information, stifling possible threats, freezing out entities that came into entertainment that did not come by way of them. So when the allegations that they had first started to erupt and they started raiding his places where he lives and confiscating things and this, that, and the third, and they said it was all based off of Cassie's allegations and things of that, and they started to read off these charges, my first thought is, unless they have more to present that is not being said now, this is not the level, or this is not the level of evidence, and this is not the charges that people that were in tune with these certain Q movements and going and researching through this information were expecting to see, because it looks like these charges are very beatable. And then to see other individuals of different racial backgrounds who did equivalent, or if not worse, to Mr. Combs of what he's being allegedly charged with, him and Mr. Carter at the time, it seemed like unfair justice and unfair procedures were being pulled, because the people of the other races or racial backgrounds, like the Abercrombie and Finch former CEO, like Jeffrey Epstein, like Harvey Weinstein, like the allegations that were against the guy that runs Universal, or he did run Universal. Gosh, what is his name? He runs Beats with Dr. Dre. What is his name? Jimmy Iovine, right? All of them had allegations, if not equal to or worse, that were not publicized the way Sean Combs and Sean Carter's allegations were. Also, all of them got bail. And it was significantly less money than what Mr. Combs was offering at a bail proposal when he was seeking bail from these alleged charges, being as though he's never been convicted of anything in the past. So it just made it very confusing to people that was following these movements, expecting or waiting for the arrest and unsealed indictments of huge figures, public figures, political figures in the United States and the world, to start being arrested, start being issued warrants, start being taken down for these crimes and things of that nature. And it's like, what, we on like 10 years later and we're still waiting for these Epstein flight logs and list of who was on these islands partying and things like that. And then you learn and you come to find out that the Fiesta video was shot on Epstein Island, and all that type of stuff. So then we started to, just the logical person in me started to look at the Diageo situation of him calling them out and all of that, and feeling as though that they may have lifted the curtain on all his dirty deeds that they covered up, since he was making so much money and reviving brands like Ciroc, and also introducing others like DeLeon and things like that. So it felt like, okay, this corporation knows this black man with a lot of influence, and possibly one of the companies that helped him garner such influence. They paid him over $1 billion through the term of his contract with them. And they like, how dare you? And wanted to show Mr. Combs how powerful and how deeply rooted the largest spirit company in the world power can reach and influence can reach. And basically we're past the point of trying to humble him. They're just now out to destroy him, right? So it just makes it very confusion of everything that's going down. So yes, do I expect this man to keep fighting? Of course. His life is on the line. His reputation, everything he's worked for is on the line. And the procedures they are doing to take him down, I do not agree with. I do not agree with. Regardless of how I personally feel or what I personally believe that he may have done or may be capable of doing, especially since we have some sort of visual of violence, especially against a woman, you know what I mean? It does not negate the fact that they are not following procedures. They are not giving him a fair shot in a court of public opinion or legally through the legal process. It just looks like it's being handled unfairly. So I will never agree with that, because I always feel as though if they could do it to him, imagine what they could do to us, the normal, regular person who does not have the finances or the influence of a person like Sean Combs. So, those are my thoughts. I mean, we expect a lot more fireworks. We expect a lot more allegations. We expect a lot more just mess and confusion, all the way up until this court date that's supposed to, this court case that's supposed to be happening May 5th. So be on the lookout. You know, it's going to get messier. It's going to get messier. So let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, share. It's the Hold Up Show, and Diddy is not done fighting. So stay tuned. Peace.